Hey everyone, just got back from a awesome weekend to the lake and decided to pick a challenge lock. Everything went really good at the lake, so let's hoping I can get into a challenge lock that K1 made. That looks cool. This one's a Corbin Russ one. So let me put that bag up, toss it back up there. I've actually run out of bins. I've got so many bins going from different pickers right now. I need to get another case. I've been getting so many requests for trades. It's crazy, and I've actually had to turn a few down for a little while. All right, but this lock here is the 60-second day. Pretty nice bitting on the key. Pretty mean looking, really. So let me get this thing in view for us there. I think with this one I could probably use a 50 thousandths pry bar or a 40. Let me go with the 40 first and see. 40 is a little bit loose. Let's try the 50. Yeah, 50 is real snug. With this keyway, I think I want to start out with a pick I kind of like here. This is a I kind of modeled this after a Sparrows pick. In fact, I've got one right here. I don't know what Sparrows calls it, but it's a very effective pick. And yeah, works out pretty good for me. I just kind of call it a swoop. A little click off of 1. That was a click from 3, 4, and that was 6. Coming back to 1. A little tiny click from 1. Nothing on 2. A little bit of counter rotation on 3. And there we go. And some people, have wondered why I always start at pin 1, and that's kind of one of the personal preference things. A lot of pickers do start at the back, but as long as you follow a logical path while you're picking, it really doesn't matter which end you start at. And I think Lockpicking Lawyer kind of covered that better than anybody. It's really what you're comfortable with. I don't know, Pick Me, Bosnian Bill, Bobby Keys, I think. They pretty much all start from the back, I believe. And they may do that because they can count the pins a little bit more easily. Okay, everything's kind of springy, so I think I overset somebody. So let's go back with this pick again. Little tiny click off of 2. And that was 3, 4, 5. Nothing off of 6. Nothing on 1. Click from 2, and that put me into a little bit of a false set. Nothing on 3, nothing on 4, nothing on 5. I don't think I got anything going off of 6 either. Let me go back in with this pick and just feel around. Okay, I got some pretty heavy binding on pin 3 there. We got a click. 4, 5, nothing on 6, nothing on 1, nothing on 2, nothing on 3, nothing on 4, and nothing on 5. This might actually be a 5-pin lock. Yeah, I'm definitely not getting anything to bind off of 5. Let me change up my picks here just a little bit. Try something a little bit different. Absolutely nothing on 1. 2 is clear. A little tiny click off of 3. Nothing on 4. Yeah, this is a 6-pinner. I can feel that 6-pin. But guys, I tell you, I am locked up solid here. I've got a feather tension on this thing, just enough to keep my tensioners from... Oh, wait a minute. I had something on 6 and it just deepened up my false set, so let's take a look. Okay, I'm getting counter on 6. And 6 is a very high up pin, I believe. So I'm going to switch up to one of my crazy deep deforced picks and see if I can actually get that one back there. Yeah, I'm getting something, but having difficulty controlling that. I want to jump in with maybe trying to pick a pick here. Let's go with an SS Dev pick. See if I can get it back there. It's on the pin. I don't think that pick's tall enough. What do I got that will actually work for that? Let's try a reach. Okay, maybe that got something in there. So moving back in on this one here. Okay, got my deep false, or got a false set off of 2. Oh, woohoo! All right, I didn't think I was back to the point where I could probably get that open yet, but just landed on it. So I mean, kind of like those happy accidents, and for some reason I can't keep picks staying up on my tray here. They just keep sliding off on me. Stay. All right. Let's take this bad boy apart and see what K1 stuck in here. I think I got lucky right there at the end, kind of like my fishing weekend. Wound up hitting the bag limit on crappie twice this weekend out of 3 days of fishing. I took an extended weekend. Okay, I'm going to shim this just to be safe. I'm going to try to stick this real thin shim I've got in here. It's not actually a shim. This is actually one of the metal strips out of a, loss prevention little gadget or metal strip they put in stuff when you buy it at the store. So you buy something electronic or something that's got a little bit of a, you know, value to it, they always put those little plastic strips in them. That's what's inside. Okay, so let's see what's in here. Okay, I just bumped off a wafer, and that was I believe in pin 1. Let me put this key in just to verify. Definitely wasn't expecting to see a wafer. Yep, that was pin 1. So let's slide this wafer over here. It's a little bitty wafer. So either that was by design, or maybe he just didn't have a key pin long enough and had to stick that on there. I've kind of had to do that before. There's a wafer on 2 as well. And lots of really good homemade pins here. Okay, and the plug, I see some evilness happening in the back of that plug. I see counter milling, undercutting on 5 and 6 with threads on 1, 3, and 4. Man, that's some pretty good work in that plug. He made some spool key pins that actually act as pretty good traps too. So let me focus this back up again and start pulling out these pins. I definitely used the wrong size follower. I got a factory spool. I've got a standard. Another factory spool. Another factory spool. Let's flip this around and almost drop everything. I think I did drop the pin out of 5. And 6. Come on. It's just right at the shear line. Another factory spool. I'm not going to take the springs out. They did feel like they're really light springs, but I've got threads in. You can kind of see the reflection there. Let me bring it up to the camera here. Okay, I got threads in every single chamber. Yep. Every chamber has threads in it, folks. So, he definitely tried to make this one pretty tricky and, well, succeeded. It kept me out for a good amount of time. It wasn't a pushover, and combined with this bitting, really cool. So let's take a look at these pins and show you what K1 stuck in here. Okay, let's go ahead and look at the top pins first, because they're all factory pins. He did all of his homework down here on the bottom set. So I've got a factory spool, a standard, a spool, 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 and spool. All of these are factory pins up top. Then I've got a very nicely serrated pin for number 1. And it had a wafer on it. I suspect that may just have been because he didn't have any long enough key pins to make that work exactly without the wafer. That's just a guess. Standard in 2, another nicely serrated in 3, and this one also has a wafer. A serrated in 4, a very, very deep, tall spool key pin in 5, and another nice, the lip on this spool right here is extremely sharp. If you guys could see that, I mean, if I was to run that against my finger kind of hard, I'd probably cut myself and leave a mark. And they look like steel pins. I don't think they're hardened steel pins, but pretty good stuff. So K1, thanks for the lock. Everyone else, thanks for stopping by and taking a look at the video. Feel free to go send a big thank you to K1 for sending me the lock and letting you guys see it. And don't do anything illegal.